Hi, my name is Brian, and today I'm going to show you how to install a KIES Valve Controller on a 992.2 GTS. As many of you already know, adding a KIES Valve Controller to your 992 911 is a game changer. As it enables you to get maximum sound from either your factory or your aftermarket exhaust setup. Now with the 992.1 Carreras and the 992.2 Carreras, with the exception of the GTS, installing a KIES Valve Controller just takes about 10 to 15 minutes. However, with this vehicle, the installation is a little more in depth as you have to remove the rear bumper, which is exactly what I'm going to show you how to do today. Now for today's video, I'm going to be demonstrating on a Targa, which is a little bit more complicated. So if you could do it on this, you could do it on a coupe with ease. So with that, let's jump in the car and get started. Now the first thing you're going to do once you jump in the car is you're going to release the rear hatch with this button over here. Now on the Targa, you are going to have to hold that down to put the car in service mode, just like this. Then what you want to do is go into the PCM and fully extend your spoiler. Now that the vehicle is in a proper service mode, what we need to do is we need to start to work on removing some of the screws to remove the bumper. However, some of the screws you're going to find are very inconvenient behind the rear tire. So for this project, what we like to do is we like to use a lift. If you have a jack and jack stand, that's going to work perfectly well. As long as you can safely remove the wheels from the vehicle, it's going to give you much better access to those wheel liners. All right, to remove the wheel bolts on your vehicle, you're going to need a 17mm protective socket, like this one we have here from Sonic. And if your wheel is equipped with wheel locks, you're going to find this in the front of the vehicle. So now at this time, what we're going to do is remove all of these. Now to make sure that we do this as safe as possible, what we like to do is we like to start with this one right here on the top. Then we install our KIES stainless steel wheel hanger. And what this is going to do is it's going to make sure that the wheel doesn't fall off and that we can safely avoid damaging the wheel and also these beautiful carbon ceramics. Now to remove this rear section of the wheel liner, you're going to first need a T25, and there's 5 of these screws. There's one here, 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 and here. Then you have a plastic 10mm over here. Then you have a T30 underneath here and a T30 underneath here. So at this time, you can remove all these screws and the plastic nut. And then don't forget this T30 over here. Once you have all the screws out, what you're going to do is carefully pull this away from the car, like this. Pull it over that bolt, and then this is going to pull straight down and out of the way. So next what we're going to do with our T30 is we're going to remove this screw down here, then this one up here. Then with your T25, you want to just peel back this layer here, and it's going to be straight up right here. Then once you're done all of this, do everything you just did to the opposite side of the car. Next, what you're going to do is remove all of these T30s around the perimeter of the bumper. All right, next what you want to do is underneath the wing, there are these little plastic pieces that you need to remove. Just carefully lift up here. Here's a look at what these look like. It is a plastic ball that goes into a rubber grommet. Then you can do the same exact thing to the other side. So now that we have those plastic trim pieces out of the way, we can remove the main light bar. Be very careful with this piece. So you're going to see that there is a variety of T30s. There's one over here, there's one here, here, and then the same on the other side. There's the 2 on the middle, and then the 1 on the end. So at this time, remove all of those T30s. So then to remove the light bar, you're going to carefully slide it out on each side. But you have to be very careful because you need to remove this connector over here, and then there's another one on this side. So to disconnect this, what you need to do is first, you need to unlock it. There's a little tab at the end, it's red in color. You're gonna pull it out like that, then you press down, and then the clip's gonna come off just like that. So here's another shot so you can see what that looks like. You pull this little red tab out, and then you press down, and that is going to move this little lever and enable you to slide it off. Then do that same thing to the other side, and then carefully put your light bar in a safe location. So now that we got the center section off, what we can do now is remove the side portions of the light. So you're going to see that there is a little T30 over here, there's one over here, and then there's a third one over here. So at this time, remove all three. Next, to release the light, what you need to do is take a little screwdriver or trim tool, and you can see I'm flexing on a little piece of plastic. You need to flex this down while pulling the light kind of back towards you. It slides out just like that. And then you have another one of these clips, so just like you did before, pull up on the tab, and then release it just like that. Then you do the exact same thing on the other side of the car. Then you're gonna take a T30 and release this bolt over here, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Now what you can do is remove this T30 over here, and then this last one over here. Now we have a couple connectors we need to disconnect. So first up, we have this one here. So simply press in right here, and then you can disconnect this, just like that. And then you also need to disconnect the clip from the bumper in here. That way the bumper is going to freely remove. Then on the other side, you can disconnect this. Again, just press down the tab, carefully disconnect it. And then you have this one up here. So press down on this little tab, press it, and then you can separate these two. All right, so then down in here, you have one more connector. Same thing, you wanna pull up on that little red tab and press in, disconnect it. It'll look just like this. And all you need to do is just take a trim tool, pry it up from there just like that. Now before we pull the bumper, what I like to do is I like to make sure that the car is properly protected with some painter's tape. Now this car is PPF'd, but even so, we want to make sure that we have extra protection on here. So I'm just going to put a piece along the edge, and then we'll do the same on the other side. Then you need to make sure that you remove the center screw between the exhaust tips. Then there's another one in this exact location on the other side of the car. So then what you're going to do is take the bumper and just pull it straight away from the vehicle on both sides. It's very helpful if you have a second person. And then you're just going to navigate it away from the car, make sure that there's no additional cords, and then place it on a bumper stand. Next, we're going to remove the crash bar off, but before we do that, there's another T30 hidden away right here that needs to be removed. Then we'll switch over to a 13 millimeter, and there are 4 of these bolts that hold the crash bar on. And do not be surprised if they're not super tight. That's how they come from the factory. All right, so now what we're going to do, you can see that there's a little tab that holds this on. You're going to rock it out and up a little bit, detach it, and remove it from the vehicle. Just like that. All right, so now that we have the car most of the way apart, what I want to do is I want to show you kind of where this is going to sit, so this way you can start to understand the next part of the process. Essentially, you have your main control box, and this is going to get mounted up here. Don't worry, I'm going to still walk you through everything. Then there's going to be these 2 cables. These are going to go across the top and then down and out this opening. One of the connectors is going to go to this valve actuator. The other is going to go to this one here in the back that's a little bit hard to see and access. So what we need to do now is remove this plastic trim. To do so, just very carefully reach your hand under here and start to lift up. Okay. And just like those little pieces that go under the wing, you have these little balls that go into a rubber grommet. And then you also have these that pop onto a little piece of plastic as well. All right, so now what you're going to do is remove the fan. To do this, you lift up on the back just like that. And then there's 2 more grommets here, very similar to the 992.1. And then with this, you just put it out of place like that. You don't actually have to disconnect anything. All right, so right over here on this DME cover is where we're going to mount the KIES control box. So just wipe it off with a microfiber towel, remove the backing of the double-sided tape, press it in, and then stick it down just like that. All right, so then what we're gonna do is route the wires. So remove this fan, just like we did the other. Again, you don't need to totally remove it, just get it out of the way. Then take your connectors, under here. Now, as you're bringing these wires across, it's important that you secure them out of the way. So if you see some other wires like these over here, go ahead and just gently zip tie these together. This way everything is nice and secure, and then we'll come back and we'll cut that off in a minute. All right, from here, what I like to do is wrap the longer cord up. The reason that one of them is longer and one of them is shorter is because we make this so that it fits multiple cars, including the GT3 and the GT3 RS. So that's why the cables are a little bit on the universal size. Then what we're going to do, after you wrap these up and out of the way, this is going to get tucked under here. And then later we're going to zip tie it to this just so that it stays nice and out of the way. So now that we have this positioned, let's connect it to the valve, which is located right under here. So to release these, what you do, you take the gray little tab and you push it outward, just like that. Then you press down, and then these will slide right off, just like that. Now that you're here, there's a 10mm bolt right here. You can remove this all the way. And this is going to enable us to route the cable super nice. Next, you can take our plug and play harness, clip it in, press the gray tab in to lock it in place. This is going to keep everything nice, neat, and out of the way. Then you can take the other end of the harness, line it up, click it in place, lock it. Then you can take this other wire. We're going to tuck this back here too. Then you can take your 10mm, you can put it back. All right, for this next one, as you can see, you really don't have a lot of space to work with. I would highly recommend having a long pick tool and whatnot. This one definitely requires a little bit more patience unless you're willing to lower the exhaust a little bit, but we're trying to keep this as straightforward as possible. So what you want to do again, you want to take a pick tool in there and release the gray tab that locks it in place, just like that. Then you can reach your hand in. Again, it is extremely tight, and you can try to press down on that button. Now, if for whatever reason it is too tight for you to reach in, what you can do is you take a pick tool from the front side, you lift up on the little plastic tab, and then you can slide it off that way as well. That's what I'm going to do because it is extremely tight. Just like that. Again, what I did is I just went kind of from the back way, I lifted up this little tab and it came right out. So now I'm going to take my other harness. I'm going to feed these down here. It does work best if you feed them through one at a time because it is pretty tight. You can fish this over with your pick tool. All right, so first we're going to connect this. And again, it only goes in one way. So lock that in place and press the gray tab. Then with this, you're going to just carefully route it up and out of the way, just so nothing rattles. And you're going to take this and plug it into the actuator. Now, a little hack you can use for this is if you take your pick tool like this, you can carefully insert it into the rubber where the wire is, and this is going to help you navigate it around. So let me get this in place. Just be very careful as you do it. All right, so after a couple minutes, I was able to get that connector in. What I found worked best was to have two different pick tools. Again, we use these long ones here. And basically what I did, it was like using chopsticks. I had to basically orient everything and then push it in, but really having that second one enabled me to actually grab it. It took me probably 10 minutes or so just to get that plug, so it is pretty tedious, but I still think that route is better than dropping the whole muffler system. But with the right tools, it is definitely something you can do at home. So now that everything is secure here, I'm going to secure the rest of this wire, and then we can start putting the car back together. Now when you go to reinstall the side lights, there's this little hook piece right here, looks like a horseshoe. This is going to slide in under here behind the bumper. So when you install it, you want to go from the back and then you basically slide it in forward. All right, and just like that, the car is back together and everything is fully installed. I love the way these valve controllers make these cars sound. They allow you to have full control over that valve for maximum volume at any given time. Once again, my name is Brian. Thanks for watching Keys. If you are interested in a valve controller for your 992 911, be sure to see the links down in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.